Hello, dear students. Welcome to I-Fal. My name is Teacher Nikki, and I am here to have another video lesson with you. So I am so excited to talk about a new topic for you today that will help you understand and construct better sentences using the English language. I know that these lessons will be very helpful for you to communicate using the English language that are grammatically correct and properly constructed, considering that we will be talking about some grammar topics. So I want you to concentrate on our lesson today, pay attention to our sample sentences, and please practice them very well even after the class. So let's go ahead and start our lesson. Let's go.
So for today's lesson, let's go ahead and talk about the third lesson about the different types of sentence patterns. So we will be having three more sentence patterns that we have here. And they're even more complicated because they have even more sentence components on them. All right? So let's take a look at what are these sentence patterns that we have here. So we have your subject, verb, indirect object, and direct object. So it's under your subject, verb, object sentence patterns. But in this case, we are just dividing them or your object, including indirect object plus direct object. We also have your adjunct, subject, verb, complement sentence pattern and your adjunct, subject, verb, object sentence pattern. So again, we have SVIODO, ASVC, and ASVO. Okay, so let's take a look at the first sentence pattern that we have here, which is your subject, verb, indirect object, direct object sentence pattern. Example: the board offered me the job. Okay, so as you can see, your subject here is the board, and then your verb is offered. Now, we say that this is indirect object because it does not directly, receive the action. That's why indirect object is me, and your direct object is what? Offered the job. Okay, to whom? To me. Okay, next one. Rohit gave Rashmi his favorite book. Okay, so as you can see here, your subject is Rohit, verb is gave, indirect object is Rashmi, and then direct object is your favorite book. Okay, remember, direct object, directly receives the action word or your verb. Okay, next one. Neetu bought herself a hat. Okay, bought what? That's why it's direct object. Indirect object is the reflective pronoun herself. Okay, indirect object. Now, I want you to take a look at these example sentences here for you to better understand what are your indirect objects and your direct objects here. Okay, so let's take a look at the more examples that we have. So first, we wish you Happy New Year. So the principal gave him the medal. So he gave her a watch. She sold him her house. Paul gave his wife a gift. The headmaster showed her the result. Okay? So I want you to take a good look of these sentence patterns. Where are your subjects? Where are your verbs? Where are your indirect object? And where are your direct object? Okay? All right, good. Now let's go to the next sentence pattern, which is your ASVC or your adjunct, subject, verb, complement pattern. Okay? As we know, your adjunct are usually your adverbs or adverbial phrases. So let's take a look at what we have here. Suddenly, it grew dark. Okay? So as you can see, your adjunct here is suddenly. Subject, it. Grew, your verb, and complement, usually a noun or an adjective that describes your subject, which is dark. Okay? So remember, if we are starting with our sentences with an adjunct, then you have to put a comma after it, okay? So next one, normally the weather is good, okay? So take a look at what are your adjuncts, subject, verb, complement. Occasionally, my dog gets restless. So occasionally here is your adjunct. My dog is your subject. Gets your verb. Restless is your complement here. Okay? So take a look at this one and think more of examples. So let's see our examples here. Usually, she gets angry. Occasionally, he becomes restless. Generally, the boss is punctual. Unfortunately, the girl was sick. Rarely, the doctor becomes uneasy. All right? So I want you to please identify your adjuncts, your subject, your verb, and your complement. So as you can see here, adjuncts are at the beginning of the sentences and they are separated with comma before our main sentence. So please take note of that. All right? So going forward, let's see what we have for the next sentence pattern. So we have the adjunct, subject, verb, object pattern. Okay, so as you can see here, your ASVO pattern. Last week, we celebrated Holy. Okay, so usually we get a token. So object. Every year we visit the orphanage. Okay, so in this case we are having your direct object to talk about, okay, or to have it in our sentence, and we start with our adjuncts, and usually they are time, they are adverbial phrases. Okay, next one, more examples. Every day he sends message. Once a month I meet my parents. Last time, India won the World Cup. Every morning, he recites the mantra. Once a while, we must take rest. Okay? So take a look at where are your adjuncts, your subject, verb, and your objects. Okay? So please take a good look of these sentence patterns, these three more sentence patterns here that we use in the English language. All right?
So I hope you find our lesson today very helpful. So as I always say, the secret in making your communication skills in English better is constant practice. So I want you to please keep on practicing all the lessons that we've had in the past and even this present lesson. So I know that you can do it really well and you'll improve yourself eventually. So just keep believing in yourself and practice more, okay? Now, please stay tuned to our more lessons here in I-Fal, and please visit our website that I will flash on the next screen. I also encourage you to please subscribe to our classes because we have a lot of amazing teachers that will help you and guide you in improving your English skills. So once again, this is Teacher Nikki. So I'll just see you again on the next classes and video lessons that we're going to have. I know that we will have more amazing lessons in the future. So stay tuned and good luck. Study harder and I'll see you next time. Bye.